Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News, the show that may or may not be 5 minutes. Today in the news, the console wars continue. And the EU has some questions. According to Reuters, EU antitrust regulators have been asking game developers and distributors what they think of the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Just gonna jump in here real quick with a summary if you're not all caught up. So Microsoft, the biggest gaming company in the world, wants to buy Activision Blizzard, the 8th biggest gaming company in the world, and many people have concerns, especially US and EU regulators. And that is why the European Commission sent a 91-page questionnaire earlier this month to gaming companies, publishers, devs, etc., asking them to please specify which partial exclusivity strategy or strategies you believe Microsoft would have the ability to deploy with respect to Activision Blizzard's console games after Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. The EU antitrust watchdog asked if such strategies would include degrading the quality or interoperability of Activision's games available on competing consoles or providing upgrades to Activision's games only on Xbox. Companies were also asked if Microsoft would make some of Activision's gaming content and features exclusively available only on Xbox, but not on competing consoles. The document also included a question about Activision's Call of Duty, asking which video game franchise is considered the most important for a console game distributor to offer, and what other main alternatives there are to Call of Duty. So it seems like the regulators don't really know all that much about the gaming space, and so they're doing their due diligence to kind of research it and learn more, which is respectable, but it's also really funny because they're basically saying, what do y'all think? But it isn't just devs or publishers or Sony or regulators that have thoughts. 10 gamers have decided to use, and I'm not even joking here, the Clayton Antitrust Act of 1914, which gives Americans the right to sue companies over anti-competitive behavior. Well, 10 gamers are using that to take Microsoft to court. The federal antitrust lawsuit filed in San Francisco comes less than 2 weeks after the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, seek to block the merger between Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. But the new suit only names Microsoft, not Activision, as the defendant. Bloomberg reports. Microsoft already controls one of the industry's most popular and largest video game ecosystems, the suit says. The proposed acquisition would give Microsoft an unrivaled position in the gaming industry, leaving it with the greatest number of must-have games and iconic franchises. The suit also includes this gem. The merger would also allegedly combine two of the few large companies currently competing for workers with the specialized talent to make video games. That would reduce employee mobility and leverage at exactly the wrong time, when Activision is engulfed in lawsuits over its toxic culture of gender discrimination and sexual harassment, according to the complaint. And I'll be totally honest, since we started covering this, I never once thought about that. It didn't click with me till right there that like, oh yeah, that's also another terrible thing to consider. And I can't believe it took 10 gamers filing a lawsuit for me to even think about that. So I guess, shout out to them. Speaking of gamer concerns, once again, there are concerns about Nintendo's Joy-Con drift, which a UK consumer association has been critical of Nintendo's Joy-Con issues for some time. In the past, they carried out a 10-point lab test to really hammer home the issues with the Joy-Con, and now they call on Nintendo to look at the Joy-Cons and commit to 4 key agreements, which has asked Nintendo to commission an independent investigation into the causes of Joy-Con drift and make these findings and outcomes publicly available, commit to a no quibble and free of charge repair or replacement of all Joy-Con controllers sold in the UK since launch in 2017 that have since developed drift, even if they are out of warranty, provide a compensation or refund plan for anyone in the UK who can prove they paid for replacement Joy-Cons as a result of drift. And the last one, promote all the above so that everyone affected can be made aware that they can get free replacements, compensation, or refunds. Like I said, they have thought about this for a while. They have been looking into it for a while. They first brought this to the public's attention way earlier this year and have been hammering it home throughout 2022. And it doesn't seem like they're going to stop anytime soon. And you know what? Good for them. Speaking of good for you, ooh, that was a bad one. Good for you. for all the amazing comments you leave down below. Thank you so much. I know I don't respond to all of them except weird bots that respond saying you're going to win a thing. That's not me at all. But just want to say thank you for all the feedback you have and all the thoughts you have. It means the world to me. Seriously, it's nice to know you're engaged and you like being a part of this community. So thank you. That's it for me. See y'all tomorrow for another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News.